Welcome to the show. My name is Lester Pipps. This is my show, Apocalypse Tips, Lester Pipps, which is, as you know, because you've tuned in before or because you heard about the show somewhere, it's a show where me, Lester Pipps, is telling you apocalypse tips, and you got to know them because you got to try to survive apocalypse. If you're not trying to survive apocalypse, I don't know what you're doing. Listen, as I say every week, I don't want to say I told you so, but I have been preparing for an apocalypse longer than you. I'm glad to finally be filling you in on how you're going to survive. Now, obviously, what you want to do to make sure you survive is consider what the most important thing to you is. And if you're smart, the most important thing to you is Louisiana culture. That is why I have been building a bunker in my backyard outside Baton Rouge for the past, 15 years, since 2005. You might be wondering, what happened in 2005? Well, that's the year I became an adult. And when I say I became an adult, what I mean is I finally realized we got to be preparing for an apocalypse. I was already over 18. What happened in 2005, you wondering? That's Hurricane Katrina, my friend. After that, I was like, I got to get a bunker. So I did it right in Baton Rouge in the backyard of my wife's house, which she does not let me inside anymore because I focus a little too much on the bunker, not quite enough on her. Now, I did mention just a second ago that what we're trying to think about is what's the most important thing in an apocalypse, right? Well, for me, it's preserving Louisiana culture. And how are we going to do that? Well, we got to make sure we get the recipe and all necessary ingredients for Popeye's Louisiana Kitchen Spicy Chicken Strips. So I'm going to call Popeyes right now and see if they'll give it to me. Hold on just a second. I got to find the number again. Okay, see, this is a phone. This is what a phone is. If you don't have one of these, you're in trouble. We're going to get them on speaker. We're going to hold it up right to the mic. You can't see the mic because I'm projecting a bunker in front of it because I don't want you to see my real bunker in case you get any ideas. Start coming inside here. This is mine. There's only room for me, my wife, my son, whoever else my son can get involved. Although he has been told to stop asking people at school. But they're not at school anymore, so maybe he'll find some time to be with somebody. Hold on, it's ringing. I feel like it's going to get answered. I got to shut up. Okay, this happened last week where it just rang for a while and then they didn't answer. I feel like my number's on the list. I really do. Because I have been doing this every dang day. So maybe all the Popeyes know not to answer my calls anymore, which would be really disappointing because I haven't gotten the recipe yet. We're going to give it 2 more rings. Then we're going to call it. That's 1. That's 2. Oh. Their mailbox is full. I feel like I got a wrong number on that one because that sounded like it was me calling into the mailbox. They got a bad number on their website. Popeyes, what you doing? You're the best franchise in the whole world. You screwing up your own website? Come on. Well, all right. I'll try again tomorrow. Maybe we'll get another Popeyes to give me that recipe. Now, part of my whole life is me going around the country giving speeches at various places that will have me. For the most part, it's open mic comedy events because they don't regulate who gets to speak. Big booked venues aren't as into me as I would like them to be. So I am mostly at open mics, but every time I do a speech, I have people in the audience come up to me afterwards and say, hey, I would love to get on your mailing list for all this kind of information. And I've got 4 of those people here today with us on this here live stream. Now, the first of those is a man I met at an open mic, actually, which is interesting. We'll see what he has to say about that. His name is Calvinson Olivermore Chastaten III Jr. Calvinson, thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you so much for having me, Lester. I appreciate it. I did want to say right off the bat, I understand a lot of people are struggling out there. I'm struggling too. I'm stuck quarantining on the smallest of my 3 boats, which is rough. The seas are a little rockier on this one, so apologize if the video is a little wacky here.
Well, no, the video looks just fine. Did you say you're on the smallest of your 3 boats? Where's
smallest
that?
of my 3.
Okay, so you got 3 whole boats, and you're quarantining on one of them. What happened to the other 2? Why you not on the big one or the medium one?
I just took this one out for a quick joyride around the Baltics. And while I was in the midst of my journey, that's when the shutdown came, and I figured better to hunker down here than it was to go back onto land.
Oh.
So here we are again. I apologize for my appearance. I'm down to my nighttime suits.
Nighttime suits.
Boy, sorry about that.
Boy, you being so rich reminded me I forgot to do something important, which is to remind everybody that this stream is brought to you by the Pack Theater. It is at Pack-Theater on Venmo if you want to donate. Calvinson, I'm assuming you have a ton of money. Feel free to download that Venmo app and give some money to the Pack Theater for supporting our stream.
Definitely. I definitely will. I actually, if you actually want to hit me up after this, if you're watching, hit me up after this. I have actually started a GoFundMe for stuff just like this. So feel free to donate to that, and I'll go ahead and forward it right on over to the Pack. I love theater. I love local stuff.
Sorry, so you have a GoFundMe account for you to give money to other people?
For my donations, yes, that's correct. Yes.
So okay. So you're a guy who's got 3 whole boats. Okay, one's big, one's middle, one's little. You're on the little one, but you.
Oh, don't remind me. Oh boy.
Sorry, I talked over you. What?
I just said, don't remind me. Oh, the bane of my existence right now. Oh.
Okay, well, so you've set up a GoFundMe account in order to get people to give money to you, so you can donate it. Why not just donate your own money? You got so many boats, sell one.
Oh, these are tough times. Not many people in the boat market.
There's not many people in the boat market anytime.
Sure. That's such a good point. Boy, you're making me nervous about my finances here. Look, as you know, Lester, and as I'll let the folks out there know, sure. I'm the CEO of a major plastics company.
That's right.
Cock Plastics.
Say again?
Cock Plastics.
Cock Plastics.
COK. Those are my initials. COK. Cock Plastics.
Oh, they sure are. Yeah.
Yes. And right now, I'm not working. I'm on the boat. I'm in my boat office. If I were working and I were generating some income, I'd be able to pay my staff here on the boat. I'd be able to donate to you. But for the time being, I'm just soliciting donations. We're all going through it right now.
I want to clarify real quick. The donations would not be to me. They'd be to at Pack-Theater on Venmo. It's a comedy theater in Los Angeles that needs support. I'm doing fine. I got stockpiles of money down in the bunker. I've been taking every loose bill I get that's smaller than a 20 and putting it in a jar and pouring that jar down into the bunker loose. So I'm basically sitting on money right now. It is mostly ones, and it does probably add up to around $500 max, but it's pretty good.
You are liquid. That's smart. My advisors told me I should keep a little bit of that on hand, but Bitcoin, you know what I mean?
Bitcoin. Oh boy. Using trouble, my friend. Using trouble.
Now, don't remind me.
We met at an open mic, and you was doing comedy that you were trying there. I was there, obviously, spreading the word of how you're going to survive an apocalypse called Popeye losing cage. But you was trying to connect with the people with material that seemed very much to be not at all relatable.
Yes. So I was actually at that particular open mic that you're speaking of. I was rehearsing the speech I had to give. There are 1,000 workers at the plant that we had to lay off recently.
Oh no.
Times are tough, as you know. They're tough for me. They're tough for you. You get it. So I just wanted to get all the kinks out before moving on to the actual folks that I had to speak to.
Sure, I do get the sense that maybe what you define as tough and what I define as tough might not be what everybody else defines as tough. Because for me, what's tough about the apocalypse is just that I haven't been able to get that recipe to Popeye's Louisiana chicken strip. But for you, what's tough seems to be that you're on your small boat instead of big boat, which I gotta say, big boat, small boat, you're still on a boat, my friend.
Listen, the big boat is where my barber is, and I am struggling right now. This is tough. You get it.
Struggle is that I got a friend who's a waiter, right? And he got laid off from his waiting job, and man got no income right now. That's a real struggle. You're talking about struggle not having a hair to cut.
Oh boy,
not having a haircut to cut to hair.
To each their own. You know what I mean?
I guess you could say that.
I'm almost out of our San Pellegrino.
We had on board. Right.
I'm sorry?
It's San Pellegrino. You don't need to put a fancy flair on it.
Oh, growing up, we always called it San Pellegrino.
No. I don't know what your life is like. I suppose you could have. Now, all right. Now, so tell me about these boats a little bit, because
Sure.
I'm a man who lives by a river, the river the Mississippi Delta. And for me, what I'm thinking about a boat, I'm only thinking about riverboat cruises. Is your boat like that?
Oh boy. Yeah, you could say that. You could say that. There are plenty of people working. So very similar. Very similar. A lot of
Oh, so you
people
got you
working
got a
on
lot of
my
people
boat.
on this boat working for you.
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
I just
Well,
assumed you were all alone.
I mean, I am because I choose to be. It's just so hard being around these people all the time because there's right now, if can I be honest with you, a lot of animosity coming from them. Because like I said, I'm unable to pay them at the moment. I put out my GoFundMe, so hopefully that'll kick in soon. But there's just a lot of anger, so I have isolated myself from the anger. So I guess we're all kind of isolated right now, huh?
Yeah. So if I'm understanding correctly, what you're saying is you got this boat full of people who work for you,
Mm,
and you've
yes.
decided not to go to land or pay them to keep working, but you also are having them keep working.
It's hard. It's so difficult on me. Do you understand? I'm having to live with the burden of that. And I just want to let you know it's going to be okay.
Look, Calvinson, I gotta say, when we met at the open mic, I thought, now that guy seems like a rich douchebag, but I'll give him a chance. And then now when I'm talking to you now, I'm like, uh-oh, I think I might have been right with my first old instinct there.
Oh, there's a good lesson there. And I think it's just follow your heart like I've always done. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Basically, just listen to yourself.
Well, I suppose that makes sense. How'd you come into all this money? What did you start cock plastics on your own, or was that inherited from your daddy or something?
Listen, I've earned I've earned every single penny that I've made in my life.
This dude crying.
And and yeah, yes, my dad ran the company first and his dad before him. But I interviewed for CEO. Um, they told me youngest to ever do it. And it's because of how hard I work. And how I'm just grinding, always grinding, you know?
It doesn't sound like it in a way. Like in a way, it does, because you're like, hey, I've had to do this job as CEO since I was too young to do it. But at the same time, it's also like
Mm.
sounds like maybe your only job was being CEO, which like a lot of people they're cleaning out fryers at a Popeyes, for example.
Oh, I would
They're
love
sweeping up the
to.
floor at a Popeyes. You know,
They won't let me. Yeah.
they won't
Oh
let you.
boy. No, the cock plastics won't let me. I have too much to do here. But that's such a good point about how I've been CEO for too long. I've always believed that it is variety and getting different experiences is what makes you rich, not money. So just there are so many people out there richer than I am. Not technically, but you get what I'm saying.
Now, I got some folks in the chat room here saying a few things. Let me read them back to you.
Oh, I
Going
love
back a
the
little
people.
ways here.
Yes. Tell me about the
Um,
people.
I had somebody say, "Are you giving away a free car?" Which I think that actually might have been in reference to the previous show. But are you giving away a free car?
Listen, anyone who can donate, check out my GoFundMe and I will try and scrape together enough to give that person a free car.
You know, that reminds me. I want to ask you about the GoFundMe a little bit. Have you had
Yeah.
people donate, and have you given that money to anything?
Here's the thing. It's right now a dead link.
Oh,
I I have not I don't have my tech guy on the small boat. He's on the medium boat. So what I'm doing is letting people know about the GoFundMe so they can continue to refresh day by day. And when I do get it up, they'll be able to very easily donate
oh
for all the
boy.
causes
So you don't even
that
have a
I've
GoFundMe.
enumerated. No, I do. I have I've dedicated part of my brain and part of the internet. It's just as soon as it gets there, then they'll be able to donate.
That's not how the internet works. You got to actually have the. Okay, you know what? Okay, you know what? I can't even get too mad at you right now because it seems like your whole life you never had to learn how the things work. I bet there's
Everyone is
somebody
mad
at
at me
Cock
right now.
Plastics who does all your jobs for you. That's my guess. That's my guess, Calvinson.
Oh, I only have one job, and it is everything.
What was your life like before all this happened? What was you doing? You were touring the Baltics. You said was you with your lady, your man? Was you solo? What was you doing?
Oh, this is the other thing is I wasn't able to bring my girlfriend on the boat with me. My wife would not have appreciated it. So she's here. She's on her end of the boat.
Oh wait, so you couldn't bring her on the boat because she wouldn't have appreciated, but she is here on the boat.
No, sorry, I couldn't bring my girlfriend because
Oh,
my
you couldn't bring your
wife would not have
girlfriend because your wife wouldn't
appreciated.
appreciate it. Got it. See, that kind of idea didn't even register with me because I'm the kind of guy who loves my wife even though she won't let me in the house.
Yeah, I love my wife too, even though she's mad at me right now.
Yeah,
God.
I'm sure
Oh,
she is, because he's talking about this girlfriend situation. Now, there's some relationships that are open to that, but you got to really have a conversation if you're going to make that happen. I tell you what.
that's such a good point.
Yeah.
God, I have so much to learn from you, Lester. This is what I'm talking about, the richness that you have that I wish I had.
You got the kind of richness I would like to have as well. I guess we could trade, I'll teach you something. You give me all that money. We in a good
as
deal.
as soon as I get that, the GoFundMe kicks in, I'd be happy to send it over to you.
Oh boy, it's going to be a long way. Now, I got somebody in the chat asking about why people like Popeyes. I'd like to hear from you. Why do you like Popeyes?
One of the best CEOs around.
Do you like the CEO of Popeyes?
Yeah, what did you mean?
I meant the restaurant.
Oh.
I'm sorry. I don't recall making a joke.
You said restaurant. Oh man. I would you must mean fast serve.
Excuse me?
Restaurant.
No, that's the best restaurant in the whole world. There's so many of them, and they're so good. They got the spicy chicken shit that make you think, oh, this is what chicken's supposed to be. Now, are you telling me that you're friends with Cheryl A. Batchelder, the CEO of Popeyes?
That's correct. Yes, good friends. Yes.
So can you get the recipe for me?
Oh, she's very secretive. Very secretive.
I'm saying, hey, listen, we gotta get some other folks on the line right now. But if you could, or while jot down that number, post it on the screen, we can all call her.
I'm gonna text her. My connections are spotty out here. I don't want to tap into my data. You get that.
Sure.
But yeah, I'll definitely give it a try. I'll let you know what I come up with.
All right. Well, listen, you seem to be a link to the thing that I care about most in the world, which makes me want to talk to you forever. But I do have to have other guests that get a chance now. So
please, I love people.
Stick around. Give us that. Let us know how that text goes. And if you got any questions for our next coming up guests, you feel free to ask them. Now, our next guest is coming to us. I met this woman at a speech of mine. I don't recall where. I don't remember which one it was, but her name's Albina Dombledoop. And God, Albina, I'm very excited to talk to you. Albina, thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. It's an honor to be here.
Oh, Albina, you're behind some books right now.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I had a taller webcam than I do. Can you hear me? Can you see me?
Yeah, for sure. There you are.
Hello. Thank you for having me. How's your day going?
How's my day going? Well, it's the same as it always is. I spent most of the morning trying to work on how I was going to make a Popeyes chicken sandwich. Can't do it because, frankly, I don't have the recipe or all the necessary ingredients for the chicken strips. You got to be crazy if you think I got them all set up for the sandwich. Then I spent a little bit of time looking at the webcam that I have set up inside the house so I can see what my son's up to. He was having a good time. He was just playing Legos. And then I set up for this call.
Great.
How was your day?
Oh, it's been good. I've just been gathering books and reading up and kind of organizing the library.
Is this your library?
Yes. Well, as you know, I've decided my mission in this, situation is to preserve the great culture of civilization. And I thought, what better way to do that than through a library?
Louisiana.
Digital content, is gone. So we have to preserve the written word. And so I've just been seeking, just different kinds of text to get like as much of a comprehensive view of the world as it was as possible.
Oh, sure. Now, from what I can see of those books, it looks like they are all, is that only Harry Potter books?
Well, I've decided that what is worth saving in culture? What are we here for? And I've decided that the only true texts worth passing on when we plant the seeds of a new society are in fact the Harry Potter books. Yes. So those are the only books I have acquired and plan to acquire. But I have all 7, and I'm just looking to get more copies so I can keep these for myself.
Okay, you got a 7-book library. That's a good start. That's what.
Well, I have a 15-book library, but I have 8 different titles. I have the 7 Harry Potter books, and then of course I have my Bookie Wook by Russell Brand. But that's just borderline a religious text. It would be crazy to get rid of that one.
Oh no!
But I am focusing mostly on the Harry Potter, sometimes on the Brand.
Okay, why is Russell Brand involved in all this? It seems like it's so clear. Oh, she's got a name that's a lot like Harry Potter. She got all the Harry Potter.
Harry Potter, it's a comprehensive story for humanity. You can really, any situation you're in, if you're feeling lonely, Harry felt lonely when his friends didn't believe that he put his name in the Goblet of Fire. And do you feel like you're smarter than everyone around you? I know I feel that way all the time. Look to the book of Hermione, for her insights. Oh, but there are a few moments where Harry Potter's just not going to work. Like, what do you do if you took a pill off the ground at a party and you end up in a 7-way and you realize someone's your second cousin? And that is why I also have Bookie Wook, because this is the kind of wisdom you're just not going to find in these stories as much. So in our post-apocalyptic society, I thought, for most of us, Harry Potter. For the freaks, Bookie Wook.
I feel like, for the freaks, like I feel like there's answers in the Harry Potter books to if you pick up a pill and you eat it and it's wrong. I mean, honestly, if you're asking me, I think those Weasley twins would have something to say about that.
I agree. I mean, who hasn't taken a pill and gotten a nosebleed so bad they had to leave class? We've all been there. We just didn't do it on purpose. We just snorted too much at the party the night before and need to leave the lecture hall because we're causing a slippery floor situation.
Well, I don't think that sentence needed quotes at all. I think that happened to you.
I know that we've all decided that higher education in the new world will not exist. But I decided that when I failed out of university when I was 20 years old because I got too many nosebleeds.
Oh, and so it seems to me like what you're describing is maybe a cocaine problem. Is that accurate?
Problem would imply that I wasn't having a good time, and I was definitely having a good time, so I just had more of a hang up, I would say.
Okay, yeah.
I just made my choice,
Yeah, however you want to phrase it. And in that time, is that when you, and listen, I'm going to go ahead and make a big leap in assumption here. Is that when you changed your name legally to Albina Dombledoop? Is that what you started out with?
Honestly, that was a rehab move because I'd been kicked out of all the previous rehabs, and I was like, really, I'd hit my rock bottom. I was alone in my childhood bedroom where I found my sacred texts here. I read through and I was like, who has come the furthest? And, Albus Dumbledore, was in a gay relationship that ended with the death of a sibling. Who doesn't relate to something like that? Things get heated in a fight. Your little sister ends up injured. You get kicked out of your childhood home. We've all been there. And I felt connected to that. So I legally changed my name as close as I could without J.K. Rowling threatening to sue me again. So Albina Dombledoop. At your service.
There's a lot to unpack there. She said she threatened to unsue you before that?
Well, I was trying to publish Harry Potter books as my own texts for a while. And then I've been trying to get my Harry Potter library off the ground since way before any of this went down. And that was not to her liking. So
this reminds me, you were telling me about this when we met, about how you was doing the Harry Potter fanfic for a while.
Absolutely.
But instead of changing the stories around, you was just changing the titles to be pictures of you in Hermione's place.
Absolutely, yes, that's correct. Yes, I just was going through my fanfic, was just putting my dead name into Harry Potter books so that I was actually part of the story.
That's right.
And I actually sold a couple of those on eBay as actual Harry Potter books, and that's when the cease and desist letters.
That makes sense, yeah, because it's like you just profiting off of J.K. Rowling's writing.
Absolutely, yes. Yeah. Which I now see is wrong.
I don't think that's needed quotes either, because it's straight up is wrong.
She's listening.
She is
win.
listening. She told me that she's gonna listen every time. I met
She
her
loves
when I
the
was
back
doing a
theater.
speech
J.K.
in
Rowling loves the back
London. She was at the open mic trying to tell stories in the under her pen name, but she was there in person. So
Yeah, we all knew who she was. And then she kept going back and being like, oh, in that story, that person was gay. And it was like, why didn't you say that while you were telling the story? And she was like, I have my way of doing things. It was weird.
Yeah, it was.
Just
All her books, there's
during
a couple
the
of...
story. You can't add things after the story. Whatever. She and I have our differences, but she did write the most perfect texts of all time, except for Book You Look, of course.
I gotta. So, do you have is Russell Brand somebody that you met at some point? Is that why you?
Oh no, absolutely not. I would say I think we look similar, and I think we have similar fashion sense. Of course, I have quarantine hair right now, but normally this is pretty much exactly what I look like.
Oh yeah, yeah. When I met you, you had a full beard and mustache.
That's true. Yeah. Thankfully, I've figured that out via electrolysis. It's really the eyeliner where you see the similarities. I'll hold it up so everyone can see. If you ever boyfriends of mine will recognize this. This kind of intense.
Oh sure.
Smoky thing.
Yeah, I mean, that makes me want to rethink my life just seeing that like that.
Yeah, So I feel like we are similar people, but no, we have not had the pleasure of meeting. As we're both sober now, and we go to bed at 8:30.
Oh, I see.
Mm-hmm.
I see. Well, I have a question for you from the comments, which is from Big Mant 841. Where did you get that tattoo? I think it's the strawberry on your arm.
Oh well, in a pilled out haze, I woke up in London, and in an attempt to find J.K. Rowling's house, figured I would go to Camden Market, and then there was a tattoo shop in the basement of a weird kind of racist store that had artifacts from tribal cultures. Wasn't great. And then I went down there, and this guy named Oliver tattooed me. When I'm done with my interview, I'll post his Instagram in the chat because he's actually quite a talented man.
Yeah, it's a good strawberry.
Yeah, he's great. Great to see you.
So there was something that you said a little while back that I felt needed following up on, which is that you dropped out of school. Was you trying to study literature, maybe writing your own thing?
Library sciences, yes. I've always known I wanted to be a librarian because I have always loved telling people to shut the fuck up. So I thought I would channel that passion, into a major where I could sit in a room and have ultimate authority to shush dummies. Sadly, I was asked to leave after bleeding on an expensive manuscript.
Oh no, you were bleeding in the library too?
The nosebleed, yeah, it was terrible.
Nosebleeds will happen wherever they are.
Wherever you go, yeah. So you got to don't take a drug via a way that things aren't supposed to go in your body. Don't snort it, don't shoot it. You don't snort food, you don't shoot food. Take your drugs the way that God intended, or the way that magic intends.
I would snort food if I had the recipe.
We all
Popeyes, would. If I had the spicy chicken strip recipe, I would snort that. I feel like
talk about a nosebleed though. Those herbs and spices up there. Whew.
I have another comment in there, which Big Man 841 has been asking me to ask you about Shaq for a long time, and I think whoever they are is referring to me as Big Z, which I don't really understand. Maybe they're not talking to me, but they sure seem to be. They're trying to get me to ask you about Shaq, which do you know anything about that?
Now, is Shaq in Tales of Beetle the Bard, or is he in Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them? Because he's definitely not in the core 7 Harry Potter books. But if they could expand upon who Shaq was, what wizarding school he went to, maybe he went to Durmstrang or something. But I'm not familiar, with that character.
Yeah, Big Man, if you could clarify what you're looking for on the Shaq question, we would be happy to answer it. Liz, I got a question for you now, and that is how you holding up in this apocalypse? It looks like you's in a library closet. Is that right?
Yes. Well, I couldn't afford rent on a larger library, so really my goal right now is to fill my Nana's closet with Harry Potter books and have a sort of hamster tube to and from the front door, so people can come to the library without bothering my Nana, because she's quite a cranky woman.
Okay, yeah. So you much like Harry, is living with a part of your family that's not your parents.
I do live with my family in a closet. Unfortunately, there are no stairs above me. I tried to build some, but I put a hole in the roof, so I was asked to stop.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. You're not so handy with the building tools.
Not so good. No. Great with the reading, not great with the sawing, hammering.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. That makes sense. Now, I'm still listen. I feel like there's a big elephant in this room, which is why Russell Brand? I know you said it's because you feel like you identify with him, but how in what way is that book anything like Harry Potter?
Well, here, give me any number between 1 and 339.
212.
2012. Okay. All right. 2012.
Yeah, 2,100. No, what's 2012? 2012.
How about 212?
That's what I wanted. Yeah.
Great. All right. Now just tell me when to stop.
Now.
All right. Now I'll just read a sentence, and any sentence in this book is very applicable. So here we go. As soon as I met John, I imagined that I'd known him for the rest of my life and probably go on yachting holidays with him in my 50s. It's important to visualize when you meet a new person. Yeah. Are they going to take me on trips? Are we going to be friends for the rest of our lives? You have to think ahead. Every sentence in this book helps you become a better person, especially because sometimes you make really dark, weird mistakes, like having an orgy and forgetting someone's name, and then they storm out, and then 3 other girls storm out in solidarity, and it's like, how do I salvage this situation? That's why the Book of Brand is very helpful.
How did you salvage that situation?
Well, I have only really had like emotional equivalents to that. One time I was reading Harry Potter to my cats, and one of them left, and the other one left and followed that first one because it got bored. And I thought, well, that's similar to Russell Brand's situation. And so I just, I gathered my cats into a smaller area and closed the door, which, I guess in a Russell Brand situation would be kidnapping, but I just like to use his words as inspiration for my day-to-day life.
Yeah, no, Russell can't do that in relation to that orgy story. That would be a real problem.
Kidnapping, of course, yes.
Yeah. I hope that's not what his book is teaching you. Listen, it sounds like what you really want is a library full of that one Russell Brand book to live your life by. But I appreciate that you
I guess British authors, but only the 2.
Got it. It's some of the works of J.K. Rowling and one of the works of Russell Brand. The only thing that matters to you. Well, listen, I get it, because I got one thing that matters to me, which is obviously the Papa Kids Spice chicken tray, and also sometimes I think about the chicken sandwich. So I hear you. Now, we do have to bring on our next guest, so stick around.
Of course.
If you have any questions for him, feel free to ask. But our next guest is a man I met on the road one time. Now I hadn't stopped yet. I was still driving, and so was he. Crazy, right? His name's Treasure Thomas. Treasure Thomas, thank you for being here.
Hi, Lester. Thank you.
Hey, coming to us from the same Winnebago I met you in.
Yeah, I'm still here. Not much has changed,
Well, the world outside the Winnebago's changed a little bit, Treasure.
Yeah. No, I can see it. I can see it all around me.
So your apocalypse has been mostly you just hanging out in the same place you was hanging out before.
Yeah, gas has been cheap, so I can get around. But as far as gathering my followers goes and getting them to do my various biddings and things like that, it's been a little slow. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I remember when you stopped me on the road to say hi, you was asking me to join some kind of following, and I thought, I got my own thing I'm going on, and I got right out of there. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, it's Treasure's Little Dragons. It's
Treasure's Little Dragons?
Yeah, that's right. That's those are what I call my little gathering of friends and family that I like to keep all around me all the time. And when I wake up in the middle of the night and I have had a vision, I will express it to them, and then they'll go forth and carry it out. But obviously now, everyone's in quarantine, so I'm all my gatherers have gathered elsewhere.
Then listen, my first thought when I heard you say that it was called Treasure's Little Dragons is that it was assembling a bunch of kids. Please tell me that's not the case.
No. They're just small spirits. Small in spirit.
Oh, okay. So you just gathering up people who got tiny spirit?
Yeah, they're just little baby dragons. And I give them my brain milk, and they'll grow up to be big, strong dragons, and they'll fly around, but never too far away.
Okay, Treasure, I gotta ask you, is any of that a metaphor, or do you think that's literally what's going on?
Well, we'll see. We'll see. Obviously, I need to get my followers back and get a few more and move into the condo. Then obviously move into the mansion, and then we'll see how long that metaphor lasts.
Okay, well, that stuff sounded real, not metaphoric. The earlier thing about the dragons and the brain milk was the metaphor, I think. But what you're talking about now is you trying to upgrade from the Winnebago to a condo and then to a mansion off of perhaps these followers' monies?
Sure, yeah, I can fit about 3 followers in here. That keeps us going. They'll have day jobs. And
Sure.
Once we bump it up to 7 followers, then we'll move into a 3-bedroom condo. And then once I get up around 15 followers, I think then it's mansion time.
You ever heard of Bogsan?
Well, I mean, once, but why don't you just refresh my memory?
Okay, so Bogsan was this guy who had a whole he had this whole I don't remember his last name, but he had this whole documentary series on Netflix about him. What he was doing was he was a cult leader who was getting a bunch of people in Oregon together to try and live together and basically just like fuck all the time and give them all their money. And then when people started trying to kick him out of this town that they bought, he had a lot of people killed. Is you trying to be a Bogsan?
Oh, no. There's very obvious difference in that. He is a cult. I'm a religious following. So
Well, okay.
Very clear and obvious difference there. Everything else was pretty spot on, though.
Yeah, okay, because it's like what you're saying is exactly what they were saying, which is that they also thought that they was a religious following and not a cult. But then the whole rest of the world was like, no, what you talking about is a cult, man. And I gotta say, what you're talking about is a cult, man.
I mean, I don't really see it. I guess I've heard that once or twice, but I have a book that I wrote. Yeah, sure.
And
It's
there's
called
copies of it, and people have it. And it's not just like a screed that you just wrote down, and you could even call it a manifesto.
Well, I don't have any right now, but I went to print some out at Kinko's, but the line was just so long.
Really?
So I don't have any right now, but it's called Treasures, Little Brain Treasures.
Oh,
And it's where my followers usually write down all my my visions that I have at night, and that's their instruction for my bidding.
So so your book is your followers write down your dreams.
Yeah, they write down my visions, my dreams, my night terrors,
Okay.
my wet dreams,
And
just
that's right.
whatever.
That reminds me. That reminds me. You were telling me that whenever you sleep, you talk the whole time. You talk the whole night through. So you got your followers just staying up, listening to you talk all night, and then telling you what you was dreaming.
Yeah, I mean, well, okay, so they stay up all night,
Yeah.
and then they have to go to work in the morning.
Right.
But then they'll usually send me an email during the day.
So it's no wonder to me that you don't have that many followers, because it sounds like what you're asking them to do is work 24 hours in a whole day.
Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure it's because of the quarantine. They all had to move back in with their moms and their boyfriends.
Sure. Okay. So tell me this: they all have to move back in with their moms and their boyfriends. Are they all young women?
I guess it depends on what you consider young.
Anyone under 50?
Under 50?
Yeah, that's a young person to me.
Wow, I don't think combined all of them would add up to 50.
Oh no.
I mean, not right now. And numbers aren't really my thing. More visions are my thing. So,
okay, maybe I got the wrong cult leader, because maybe he's more of like a Charles Manson kind of figure, just gathering up young women, and then maybe, and then you're gonna have them like, maybe kill like a rich celebrity in a hill.
All right, look, here's how it works. Okay, I feel like you're talking about Bhagavan, Charles Manson. Now these guys are cult leaders.
Yeah.
There's a very big difference here. So I'll sleep, I'll dream. When I don't have any followers, I have to record myself with my phone.
Oh, that's a good solution. I didn't even think of that.
It gets me through the hard times. Like here we are. I'll have the visions. They'll tell me, I'll see a woman in the park. Maybe she's a young woman. I don't know. Depends on the vision.
Uh-oh.
I'll usually walk up to her, lay my hands on her forehead,
Oh, no,
and then she'll be one of my little dragons.
I don't think she will be. I think she's going to be really upset with you, probably run away. Now, listen, do you have your dreams from last night written down by chance or recorded?
Yeah, I was only able to listen back about 5 minutes before we got on here.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't need the whole 5 minutes. Just give me a little snippet of your dream from last night, if you would.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, even a snippet is just probably going to be like, woo.
Yeah, I just really like to get a sense of what it is that your cult is all about.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's the vision was saying we'll probably get back up and running around Easter time.
Okay.
And the economy will bounce back real quick.
This was your vision.
And before I know it, I'll just be laying hands on all kinds of foreheads. And I figure if 1 out of 20 doesn't run away, well, then that's pretty good numbers for me because I can lay hands on a lot of foreheads.
I gotta say, your vision sounds exactly like a Donald Trump speech.
Donald Trump. Is that another cult leader?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, you don't know who that is? You don't know about the whole president?
Well, I mean, I live in a Winnebago, and my only entertainment are open mics.
There's a TV right behind you.
Yeah, but that hasn't worked since '74.
Oh, you keep it there for the look.
Yeah, it used to have a burned-in image of Archie Bunker on it for a few years, but eventually that faded too.
Archie Bunker. Good name because the word is bunker, but I don't know that guy. Now, would you do me this one favor and answer me one last question, and take as much time as you need with it. Before everybody was locked down for this COVIDs, did you have any followers actually? Did you actually have anybody? Take as much time as you need. Okay,
well, look, I've been struggling with this bed bug problem in the Winnebago. Okay, so I had one, Jamie. I really thought she was going to be a keeper, but she woke up at some point in late February with a really nasty itch, and we just both agreed that she should probably go move back in with her mom or her boyfriend.
Her mom and her boyfriend were living together while she was gone.
Right. Yeah. They had already moved. You know, rent's very expensive out there, and where people are finding interesting living situations all the time like this.
Sure. Yeah. Hey, but you got to do what you got to do. I hear you.
I would just like to say, I mainly wanted to come on here just to let you know if there are any ladies between the ages of 19 and 24 that don't mind working all day and writing all night and living in a Winnebago that may or may not have bed bugs, then they should reach out to me.
Listen, I don't want to help you lure women into this trap, but don't use that as your sales pitch because that's not going to work. Now, we got to move on to our next guest. Stick around. If you got questions for him, feel free to ask him. Our next guest is hopefully not also a cult leader. Her name is Lisa Edwards. Lisa, thank you so much for being here.
Hi, baby. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. I see. Okay, breaking out the white wine already. I guess it is 9:45, so already it's not a fair word.
We're in quarantine time, darling. White wine is acceptable at every occasion and time of day.
Now, I met you when I was doing a talk in Pasadena, and obviously when I say talk, I do mean I was going with the ice cubes. Okay. When I say talk, I was at an open mic, and so were you. You were watching one of your kids. Is that right?
Yes, that's right. Young Ruthie has dreams. It's adorable. She still has them. I support her. But yes, I did meet you in lovely Pasadena, which is where I am quarantined right now with my lovely kids, Ruthie and Rudy.
Mm-hmm. And Ruthie and Rudy are both, how old? Or they're not the same age, maybe? I don't remember if they were twins or not.
No. Ruthie is about 19, so she still has her like hormones and like kind of like aggression towards me. It's adorable. Sure. And then Rudy is about 25 now. So both haven't spoke to me in a few years, but leave it to an apocalypse to make them come home to mama instead of their dad. I'm sorry, my husband Steve. I've had a few.
Oh, fair enough. So you and your husband are not together during the quarantine?
No. Steve moved out a few months ago. There was a mailman situation that he just could not get past. So
Oh, the
he
mailman
drove
was
in a
delivering too much
condo, and
mail to
I'm
your
stuck
house.
with the Peloton.
Say that again. I spoke over you. I'm sorry.
He's off in a condo. Meanwhile, I still have the Peloton.
Okay. Now, tell me about this mailman situation. Was that a situation where the mailman was giving you too much mail?
No, he wasn't giving me quite enough, so I'd ask for more, if you know what I mean.
I do, yeah, because I've sent a lot of requests out through the mail for people to send me the recipe to Popeyes just spicy chicken strip, and they don't do it. So I'm always like, "Hey, where's my mailman?" He's like, "I told you if they don't send it, I don't bring it."
Mailman, they can be tricky and amazing in bed.
In bed, they're supposed to be outside. Oh, I get it. I'm making the connection now. When you saying he wasn't giving you enough, you meant because what you wanted in addition to the mail was his dick.
You're so smart and cute.
Oh, thank you. Okay. All right. Well, listen, my wife's upstairs in the house, so maybe don't be calling me cute because she might be listening. I hope, honey, if you're listening, I'm being true. So tell me a little bit about your house in Pasadena. You got a bunker situation up there?
I'm sorry, I have a what?
You got a bunker? You living in a bunker?
Oh, darling, not a bunker. It's 2 stories, 5 bedrooms. It's been nice though. It's my own little castle. I have my own little workout room.
Okay.
I can go off away from the kids while they play their Xbox Live and Ruthie pretends to be an Instagrammer. It's nice. I have my own space from them, but I can have dinner with them.
That's very dismissive of your daughter there. She
Oh,
pretends to be an
Ruthie.
Instagrammer?
No, that's her, as she's told me, profession.
Oh, she's trying to be a professional influencer.
Sure. Like I said, she has dreams. It's adorable.
Okay. Well, hey, listen. When I had dreams as a child, my dad said, pursue them, because what they were was exactly what he wanted, which was to play for the LSU football Tigers, and I sure as hell did. But listen, if my dad had been saying, "Hey, man, don't try to play football. He's no good at sports," I would have been real upset, because you got to have that parental support.
Mm-hmm.
But sounds like you're not giving your kids support.
Parental support, I think, is huge, especially in this kind of time, because if your kids don't think that you believe in them, then they won't talk to you for 2 years.
Did that happen to you?
And then it'll take an apocalypse for them to come back to you. So, God, I sure learned my lesson there.
Oh, wow. So they only came back to you because after 2 years of being, oh, wow. So they was away from you for 2 whole years? Oh, wow. I'm sorry to hear that.
Well, away or on the west side.
Oh, so they was just on the other side of town. You chose not to go over there.
But
I
like
see.
I said, they could either go to Steve's or to me, and I have the Peloton.
Oh, they chose your house because they like the Peloton?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay. So they's not seeing their father for this whole quarantine. Do they? You know what? I gotta ask you. I gotta just be straight up with you. Do you think that they's taking advantage of you coming over to your house? They don't see you for 2 whole years, and then they come over just because they're like, oh, if I'm gonna be quarantined, it's gonna be a big house instead of Steve's dad's house.
I have pondered that in one of my many bubble baths that I've taken during this time. But I find that in this time, if one thinks too hard about any topic, that's the end. So as soon as I can feel my brain thinking a little bit too hard, I stop and I have a glass.
Okay, I see. Okay, So he's kind of doing that. He's doing that white wine mom situation where he's just always being on white wine instead of being in the present in the current moment.
Is that a thing?
It is now. You're doing it.
Well, now who's the influencer, Ruthie?
Okay, taking shots at
I'll tell her that at breakfast. I'll tell her that.
That's that's hey, you do what you got to do. Now tell me a little bit about you. I mean, when you was a kid, let's say you had a dream and your mom was saying, "Oh, I don't think you can do that." What was that dream?
Well, being born and raised in Pasadena, California, the best city in the planet, and yes, I say city.
Well, feel free
I
to. It's everybody knows New Orleans is the best city on the planet, but please keep going.
Again, you have dreams. I believe in you.
Thank you.
When I was younger, I always wanted to be Rose Court Queen of the Rose Parade. Now, you know the Rose Parade, right? Tournament of Roses. They're huge. It's a global event, but it happens here in Pasadena.
Yeah. Well, did you the Rose Court Queen? Is that like the homecoming queen for USC or what is that?
No, darling. So to kick off each year, Pasadena puts on this insane psychotic parade that is made with each float out of all living things, flowers, grain, apparently, trees,
Sure.
you name it. And there is always a queen of this parade, and that is the Rose Court Queen. And it is every white woman's dream in Pasadena and neighboring towns that
Did you
are
say every right woman or every white woman?
white.
Yeah. Okay. I thought so. All right. Well, hey, I don't know anything about that. I haven't experienced the whole thing. Well,
I went to the Wrigley House, which is where they host these auditions, and I interviewed to be Rose Court Queen. And can you guess the outcome?
well, based on how you treat your daughter about dreams, I'm gonna go ahead and guess that you did not get it.
I got runner-up. But I was
Oh,
still on
wow!
the court.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I do have the newspaper article. It's stashed away in the den somewhere. I'll find it one day for you and show you maybe.
Yeah, I'd love to see that.
For one of my cocktails.
Yeah, I mean, hey, I'd love to see it. I'll bring my wife. She'd love to see it too, I think. Not because it's not that I'm uncomfortable around you. It's just that I'm uncomfortable around you. Now, listen, this might be look, I don't know what rules is or what etiquette is, but you look like 20 and you describing your kids as 20. How you do that?
I just fell in love with you.
What?
So my
Oh, damn
secret.
it. No, I gotta tell my wife.
My secret to looking young, especially in the apocalypse, when there are no Botox facilities, is you suck your cheeks in like so for about 4 hours a day.
Okay.
That keeps these taut and the skin bouncy. I also have an aloe plant. It's the only plant I've ever taken care of. What I do is I chop it off and I use the aloe on my face. I'm actually 43, but
Whoa. Hey, good for you.
Would you like to try it with me?
Are doing it?
You'll get there, sweetie.
I don't know. It's hard to tell if I'm doing it with the beard. Listen, I thank you so much for being here. Thank everybody for being here. Now we got just a couple of minutes left, so I want everybody to have give me a piece of advice you got for everybody in the apocalypse. The one thing that you think everybody most got to know, and obviously what I think it is if you can get the recipe and all necessary ingredients, probably you get that over to me as fast as you possibly can. Let's start with you, Lisa, since we've just been talking to you. Any last pieces of advice for folks in the apocalypse? How are they going to get through all this?
I like to treat it as a holiday. Yes, it's sad. There are some bleak situations happening because of this, but if you put on a little Christmas jam and music, then suddenly your kids are home from school, they're actually talking to you, and you can just forget.
Okay, all right. So your advice is very specific to your situation. Very cool. Treasure Thomas, any last piece of advice for the folks out there?
Sure. Yeah. I know this is a very scary time. I know that you never know what's around the corner, but if one day you're walking out in the park, getting fresh air, and a stranger comes up to you and he wants to lay his hands on your forehead, just let him, because you don't know what could happen next. Maybe he'll have a ring for you.
Oh God, no! I should not let you speak again. Albina, Dombledoop, anything you want to say to the folks? One last message for everybody out there.
Don't free your house elf.
Oh, that requires follow-up. You got a house elf?
No.
Oh, okay. All right. Calvinson, Livermore, Chastaten, the third junior. I didn't even ask you about being the third junior. I should have. Any last words of advice for the folks out there? Please don't say be on a small boat.
Whew, sure. Gosh, right now the waters are choppy. And what you got to do is not worry about those bigger boats out there that you could have been on, and just focus on where you are and who isn't with you.
Fair enough. I did say don't mention the small boat, and you managed to work your way around it. I appreciate that. Now, folks, thank you so much for being here. Everybody listening, thank you for doing that. One more reminder, if you're listening and you're thinking, hey, I wonder what theater would support such an important message getting out to the world, that's the Pack Theater. You can Venmo them at Pack Theater, help them keep them doors open. I got to go. Bye.